Welcome back to another video on the Recipe and to another edition of Raw out of 10. Ahead of a packed week of pro wrestling that includes Saturday night main event and the all-women's pay-per-view Evolution, Raw hit the Netflix airways with a card headlined by Rollins and Penta squaring off for the first time, and much more as we build towards those two shows. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into things. So we start things off with Seth Rollins and the still unnamed faction of Heyman, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker kicking off the show. Promos from the latter two set the stage for their match as well. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, while Rollins yielded the mic to his oracle. Heyman promised that the Empire was striking back against its enemies beginning Monday and ending Saturday at Atlanta Saturday night main event when he defeats LA Knight. The second one was a fairly standard one that introduced the night's matches, gave Breakker and Reed mic time and planted the seeds for the inevitable return of Roman Reigns, though one subtle tease and a blatant address from Heyman. This was fine as a table setter. Before we moved on to our first match tonight, Kairi Sane against Roxanne Perez. But before that, backstage in the Judgment Day area, Perez revealed a memorial to Liv Morgan, to which Raquel Rodriguez says, "Yo, she's alive," which is quite funny to be fair. Elsewhere, Dom found a cake from AJ Styles, who popped up from the corner, reiterating still has his eyes on the champ. Before entering, Perez sought to maintain her momentum from recent weeks, and yeah, Perez expertly targeted the arm of her opponent, looking to take away her dangerous spinning back fist. Every time the Pirate Princess managed to come back, the Prodigy went right back to that injured limb. When Sane built some momentum, it proved too much, and yeah, the 2017 Mae Young Classic winner overcame attempted interference from Rodriguez, wiping her out of ringside and pinning Perez's shoulders to mat for a backslide for the win. After the match, Oscar made a save for a 2-on-1 beatdown, rescuing Sane and standing tall to close the segment, and with that, it felt like we have a third and final challenging team for Evolution. The reunited Kabuki Warriors joining Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, as well as Ruka and Zaru, and facing Perez and Rodriguez makes sense for that tandem. As for this contest, it was unsurprisingly good based on the talent they involved. Perez eating another loss was probably unnecessary, but it set out the post-match stuff. So yeah, it was forgivable. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Backstage, Jackie Redmond caught up with Sami Zayn, who said he had too much on his plate to be worried about carrying Cross and a rib injury down a week ago. This drew the ire of Scarlett, who looked none too pleased about her man being pushed aside. Elsewhere, Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers asked Adam Pearce about the return of El Grande Americano on Monday's show. From there, Nile expressed her desire to be in the Battle Royal Evolution, and the Raw GM granted that wish. Oscar and Sane bagged in, and the Pearce suggested the return of the Kabuki Warriors at Evolution as they challenge for the women's tag titles, an announcement set up by the segment that preceded it. Finally, Nikki Bella cut a promo about the importance of Evolution and said she'd be in the Battle Royal, which, to be fair, I can see her winning, and yeah, I think it's probably the best use of Nikki. But moving on into Sami Zayn against Bron Breakker, as Zayn made his way to the ring, cross-attacked and left him a beaten and battered mess in the aisleway. Despite interference from the medics and Pearce, Zayn refused to miss the match and made his way to the ring. It didn't bode well as he squared off with the unstoppable force that is Breakker, who poked, prodded and tried it of his prey early. An explosive clothesline from Zayn drew a big reaction and teased the unthinkable before the badass unloaded with his super spear around the ring and then added another inside the ring for the win. This is a great example of how to add heat to Cross by way of sneak attack, despite the crowd's clear desire to see more of him and build more sympathy for the gutsy face who refuses to quit. Zayn is spared too thin, his body's suffering, it's costing him victories, and yeah, will hopefully lead to a more intensifying rivalry, possibly a heel turn, but you know, it's a good story there, so 7 out of 10. Moving on into Evolution and Becky Lynch's title defence against Bayley and Valkyria. Both challenges interrupted in short order and wasted little time taking shots at each other. Egged on by the man, Valkyria promised to win both and take the IC title reign, while Bayley expressed her need for the gold. A brawl broke out between all of them, and the contest is going to be one of the best on the Evolution card. This did little to advance the story, but it's kind of already there in the first place. Valkyria is getting the spotlight she deserves, and yeah, keeping her in the forefront with 2 established stars is definitely the way to go. As we then moved on to Jey Uso against Bronson Reed, and beating Jey Uso was not something Bronson Reed was interested in. He devastated Uso, bringing an electric match to a sudden end by launching a steel chair at his opponent, drawing a DQ. After the bell, Reed brutalised the former champ, delivering multiple tsunamis and leaving him in need of assistance to the back. This is another instance of the heel faction dominating night. It started with words of warning when they made got a net breaker, put Zayn out indefinitely, and Uso did not leave under his own volition. The heels are rolling, but the fans willing to tolerate it as long as there's an indication that their face is waiting in the rings, ready to topple them. Punk and Reigns figure to be them, but there's a prime opportunity for a new star, and hopefully Triple H and his team realise this. As we then took over 90 minutes, but we finally got our first title match for Evolution, Rhea Ripley v Io Sky. This included the champ's unblemished record against Mummy via a tightly produced video package. Back in the arena, Cole and Corey Graves balanced about his identity, and El Grande Americano returned to the ring against Dragon Lee. A solid back and forth was done, and yeah, a disservice to the commentary team and its focus on the identity of the man himself. Later in the match, Lee launched himself over the ropes at Americano and appeared to have momentum on his side until Americano loaded his mask and leveled his opponent with a headbutt to score the win. The incarnation of the heel, clearly Kaiser under the mask, will take some time to get used to, as did Gable. While that said, the comedic value was up there, but it just felt like two talented performance. More could have been done here. 5 out of 10. Days before their world title match, we then got Goldberg and Gunther taking it to the ring. His promo was short-lived though, as the veteran interrupted, driving a sports car into the parking lot and stalking into the arena. Coming face to face with the ring general, he knocked the microphone from his hand and then knocked him to the mat. The WCW icon set up for a spear, but Gunther bowed out the ring and the man stood tall. This was short, sweet, and nothing else. But you know, I thought it set it out nicely, and I'm very much looking forward to that match. To be fair, before we got Penta versus Seth Rollins in our main event, and it was very competitive. They went bang for bang, multiple Fogs finishes. Late in the match, Penta rolled building momentum off a Mexican Destroyer that came out of nowhere to stun his opponent. However, a well-timed, most definitely not accidental headbutt to the nether region stunned Penta and allowed Rollins to deliver a stomp for the win. After the match, Heyman called for Breakker and Reed, only for LA Knight to come from out of nowhere and deliver blunt force trauma to Rollins, leaving the Visionary lying ahead of their match at Saturday Night Main Event. The match was predictably strong, even if the finish left a lot to be desired, and the crowd was red hot. The fans right there though, taking on the ride and culminating in the heel snatching victory from the jaws' feet. Knight looked like a massive star as he stood there cheering, and you know how it would be booked at Saturday Night Main Event was ending, but I still thought it was a very strong ending to Raw, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And yeah, overall Raw this week gets a 5 out of 10 from me. There should have been 2 goals going into the show. Promote both Saturday main event and Evolution. And to be honest, it did neither of them very well. While the last match was really fun, there were some angles that were hot. I just feel like they didn't really do enough on this show to really get me hyped for it. And yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I can't lie. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.